Welcome, one and all, to the first and inaugural episode of the Worn Word Podcast. Proof that they really give a podcast to anyone these days. I'm your host, Nathan Lorenzo.
I'm your other host, Emily Pizarro.
And I'm your other host, Christy Wong.
So anyway, I gotta just congratulate us on a really timely introduction, just in time for midterms too. How have midterms been for you guys?
Honestly, it's good. It's good. More of like take home kind of midterms. Especially, coding and stuff like that. But honestly, it's not that bad. Not that bad. What about you, Christy?
Yeah, very bad actually. So, very much chemistry, some bio sprinkled in there, just a lot of content to go through and, synthesize and regurgitate. And so it's been a lot, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah.
I feel like once you finish the midterm, it's done. It's a done deal. So
Yeah.
that really helps with getting the pressure off.
Mm-hmm. Nice. What about you, Nathan?
And that's the truth. Are we talking midterms in like the same week, or is it one of those ones where you have like one every week?
You mean like back-to-back midterms?
Yeah, because like for this quarter, my midterms are like in the same week, and usually that's like a bad thing. But I think for this classes, I'm honestly kind of glad because usually my midterms are like one every week, so I'm always like studying for something, and it's like sometimes if it's like classes with like a lot of papers and stuff, then like that's probably for the best because those take like time. I need time to like reset and like replan, reshift to like a new class. But sometimes it kind of just feels like it's like, I'd like to not have to study all the time. Like, I know it's a STEM school and all, but like this is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I totally get that sentiment. I do appreciate when my midterms are kind of in the same week just so I can knock it all out at once, but it's also just overwhelming when you're studying like so much content. It's like also having to choose which one to study for and like have priority for. So, like whether it's every other week or whether it's all in the same week, I feel like I'm still studying 24/7, so it really makes no difference for me.
See, I'm the opposite. Yeah, I don't study. I just wing it, call it a day. Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah,
But
really.
yeah, nah. But I do understand. Mine are more like kind of like there's like one in one week, and then two in like the other week, and then three the same day. So benefits of being a cog sci major.
So tragic. You cockside, you say?
Yeah, cog sci specialization in neuroscience. Really long major name, but hey, I'm paying a lot of money for tuition. Might as well the whole name. But
Exactly.
yeah. Speaking of majors, what about you, Nathan? What's your major?
Well, I'm actually a psychology major, so I at first I originally thought that psychology and cog sci had like a lot of similarities, and I think they still do, but I know
Yeah.
they're like not exactly the same. But
Yeah.
I'm a lot happier as a psych major because when I first came in, I was originally a stats major, so having a lot of like STEM intensive courses, I definitely relate to Christy's struggle is kind of like memories, So I'm kind of glad to like not have to worry about that as much.
Ooh, yeah, no, honestly, I was a general chem major before. Never again. Thermodynamics was not my cup of just drink,
Oh no.
Yeah, it was thermodynamics, Kumel, never take that guy. But essentially, after I switched my major, I was pretty much happier.
Yeah. What they don't tell you until you actually take a single chemistry course is that it's really just math under like in sheep's clothing. Like a lot of it is just math. And this is coming from someone who likes math, but it always is kind of like the not as fun math, I feel.
No, yeah. What about you, Christy? What's your major?
Oh, I'm a biochemistry major.
Yay!
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, it's totally fine. At this point in my academic career, I feel like I've gotten used to the brutality of my major. But yeah, it's just what you would expect to be like very content heavy, a lot of STEMmy, sciencey courses to take. But I keep myself sane. I take electives on top of my harder courses. Like I'm taking a bunch of theater courses right now, just like watching films, some beginner acting classes just to balance out the more lecture-based kind of classes.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, have you guys been doing any other classes besides outside of your major?
Honestly, it's been pretty good. I made one of my points of concentration music because I'm very passionate about music. I'm like it's one of those things where it's like I like engaging with it in my free time, whether it's listening or trying to play. Even with the psychology classes, it's just nice to have it where it's like I can have an excuse to have a course that's like a bit lighter and a bit something that's like feels a bit more like casual. Like I'm still learning stuff, but it's something where I don't have to stress as much in it. But the only thing with I've learned that when music is your point of concentration and you need to get music classes, A lot of people also want music classes for obvious reasons. So it's kind of like, even though I have fun with them, it's not as fun trying to make sure that I can actually like get them during enrollment, which is another thing that I have a lot of thoughts on.
I don't know why I got a really late like time, but honestly, it's kind of like Hunger Games. You know, getting your class is the one that you need, and you're like 15 in the wait list, and it's like wow, like tragic. But honestly, I hope that we all get the classes that we want or we need. Hopefully, cross our fingers.
Manifesting. You know, you say Hunger Games. The way I see it is like that, but also a Ticketmaster. I feel.
Oh yeah.
As someone who's tried to get concert tickets, like, and you're just like waiting, you're just there, just waiting for it to open, and then just like to get a good spot in like the queue and stuff like that. Like, at least we have appointment times, but it still kind of feels like that, where it's like, it kind of just feels like it's up to RNGesus at that point.
No, yeah, for real, it really is.
I've gotten better at choosing like which ones to do first pass and second pass, because let me tell you, I've had so many days where like I'll check the night before my second pass enrollment, my classes will still be there. I go to sleep, wake up, and it gets like filled like overnight or like the hour like before I'm supposed to get it. This past enrollment, this most recent one, was the first time I've ever gotten all 4 of my classes that I've wanted at once without having like do any like plan Bs or anything. Like never happens. I don't know how it's been for you two. I don't know for people at home. I don't know how your experience has been, but like WebRig be crazy, I swear.
Oh gosh, I don't even know like the first time I ever even gotten all 4 of my classes. Like I swear I made like 5 schedules because I never get my classes. Still have not to this day, but hopefully maybe round 3 I hopefully I get the classes that I want. What about you, Christy? Have you ever gotten all 4 of your classes?
I feel like I've been lucky. I've always gotten all classes that I've wanted.
Oh, okay.
Just because I took a bunch of like community courses during my high school years, so it equated to a bunch of units that I entered GCSE with. So like it boosts your standing, and boosting your standing will also give you an earlier enrollment time. So yeah, like.
Nice.
Like, my biggest flex is that I got Warren writing my first quarter.
Really? Oh. That is a big flex.
That is a big
really
flex.
Yeah.
Don't start on us now.
But yeah, I've been lucky, so.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think in general, for a couple, I think you're 4th year, I think.
Yeah.
And then you're 3rd year, Christy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, 3rd and 4th years, like, I feel like we kind of, like, been knowing either we get a good classes or bad classes, but... speaking of just, trying to pass classes, do you guys have any advice about, to give to the other people at home about classes pass in general?
I think so far, the main thing I got it, because I think it really matters of, like, first pass versus second pass. Just because I feel like with first pass is, like, for the ones you, like, for sure want, like, this coming quarter, and then the second pass are the ones where it's, like, worst case scenario, if I have to take it later, that'd be pretty good. Normally I'd recommend something like checking like which classes are offered which quarters, but I'm gonna be honest, I've never done that. I've been too lazy to look into that personally. So what I do, if you don't want to do that, my advice would kind of be just kind of like based on I do look at my degree audit, so depending on like how many courses I need for a certain like section or like which kind of, or like how many courses are offered for which section, like say like if one section only 3 courses can fulfill it versus another section where 6 courses can fulfill it.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where like the one with like less opportunities or like with less like flexibility, those are the ones I try to do first, because the ones with more flexibility, like either I can take it the next quarter, or even better, I can just take a different class that same quarter, like sooner. It's just a different class, but it still fulfills the same requirements. Now, I've just been a little nervous, honestly, because I'm in my 4th year and I'm currently like on track to get all my requirements, but I know that it's one of those things where it feels like I'm just hoping that I get all the classes I need or want, like until then, because I feel like WebRig at this point is, assuming I pass them all, I feel like WebRig is like right now the only thing that is like in my way of like possibly like graduating on time. But I think it's gonna work out.
No, yeah, I hope for the best it works out.
Yeah.
I feel like personally, advice when it comes to enrolling classes would be if you are either a coding major, data science major, or another cog sci. But I know, for example, like cog sci majors, no matter what specialization you are, you have to take a coding class. Anything regarding coding, you have to first pass it. I know those would have been one of my biggest struggles trying to get like a second pass with that, because it's a lot of students taking it, especially if it's cogs like 108. very competitive major. I mean, classes, my bad. But I feel like definitely if it's a coding or even general biology or chemistry class, definitely first pass it. And I feel like in general, especially, I come from Revelle. I'm not a Warren student, I'm a Revelle student.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Definitely, I know that for Revelle, for humanities, I believe it's 6 units. So kind of really takes a lot of what you need, which is 12 units. So definitely, if you are maybe a Revelle student, yeah, first pass Hume. No matter what you do, always put that beyond your majors. But I think that's a little bit of, advice I would give. What about you, Christy? Anything?
Yeah, my advice is just very similar to, the previous things that you guys mentioned. Just being, aware of the classes that usually will get taken up quickly and, prioritizing that. And even though it may not be a class you particularly want to take, it might just be something you need to do. And also just the general rule, I don't know if everyone knows this, but this is very helpful for myself. If you're planning to waitlist a class, look at the waitlist count first and make sure that the number there is not over 10% of the available seats in the class. That's the general rule for how many people will drop the class. But yeah, that's my most helpful one. I also have seen people on Snapchat offering money for people to drop waitlist. So, if you got, money like that, go ahead, that's a great way of getting your classes that you want, especially. So
yeah, I definitely knew my old roomie. They mentioned how they knew people in humanities will literally go on their friend's laptop and drop their own Hume class so that themselves get enrolled. That's why you have a Duo pass so that no one can go into your web reg and drop classes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these are very competitive classes. But I feel with all that and stress comes along, I feel it's time to season that we try to de-stress. Any procedures. So what do you guys have? Any de-stressing tips you guys want to offer to the crowd? How do you manage stress?
Do you want to go first?
No, I'm pondering.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I've just been trying to find the right balance, because I know with classes and certain extracurriculars, I know it can be a bit much, from talking to people in my connections from my therapist and stuff. I've learned that it's always good to both find your balance, but also to be sure to enjoy your own time. I know with us being here at the STEM school, I know depending on what you need to get done to get to where you want to be in life, I know it can seem you kind of have to be constantly moving and stuff, which can be true. But it's still important to make sure to find time for you, because as a man by the name of Reggie's May once said, if it's not fun, why bother?
Oh, love that line.
Deserve some snaps for that one.
Snaps. What about you, Chrissy?
I would say just making sure to take time for yourself and take breaks. And I feel that's such a cliche thing to say, but it's also so overlooked. I know myself, I feel I'm constantly in a state of, oh my gosh, I'm falling behind.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something to do. There's never time to rest. But it's also just accept that that's how it's going to be, you know, which is sad. But it's also just true, I guess, for a lot of people with maybe, greater ambitions. Just making sure that, blocking out a time in your schedule for yourself, whether that's just taking a brief stroll, on Warren Lawn, or playing volleyball with your buddies, or a little hot yoga sesh in your own room. Whatever it is, just taking time to put your work away, put your devices away, and do something that's nourishing and I don't know, fulfilling for yourself. Because I feel whenever I study for too much anyway, I hit a slump where I just feel horrible, it's the end of the world, I'm not gonna pass this class. But then I do something for myself, and then I go back to studying, and I'm it's all gonna be okay. So it's just, I don't know, healthy for your mind to do something for yourself. So
yeah, that's great.
It's so true. Honestly, just some sort of refresh, I think, is a good way to put it. Because I'm the kind of guy where when I start an assignment, once I start it, I need to, fixate on it until it's, done.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I need to just normalize or just get used to the idea of just, if I have the time to do it, then if I have the time, as long as it's not, the day of, I should be able to, if I can, just like take a break. If I need like walk around for a bit, go do something, use the bathroom even, and then come back.
Yeah.
Just reset my nerves, just refresh and stuff like that. Also, I think you suggesting a stroll is so valid because I know recently, like whenever I get like a case of like the zoomies, I feel like even not necessarily like stress, but like if I just feel like I have a lot of energy, sometimes just like going for a walk can go pretty well. Usually, because I'm a big music guy, I usually go for a walk and listen to music and stuff like that. Actually, that's how I listen to Chromocopia. I listen to the new Tyler Creator album that way.
Oh,
And honestly,
I love his album.
and honestly, Sticky, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a cool idea. Especially because like it was just nice to like go from like Warren to like Revelle, just like a long walk, just go like walk around the area. I actually got to go check out the 8th College area. I feel like I'm one of the people that will like be willing to like defend Warren. I feel like we got like a really like nice like environment, a nice aesthetic going on as far as living areas go. A nice change of scenery can be good every now and then.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that was another advice, like for, in general, just releasing stress. I feel like, get out of your room, right? I feel like, everyone's in the room studying, but it's good to just get out of your room, whether it's just like, you're in the kitchen or if you're in your living room. But I feel like in general, just leaving your own personal room and just walking outside, working out, even playing with the dog, I feel like in general, it's really good to just like get out of your room or your dorm or apartment, even if you're on or off campus, just in general, walking around. I feel like definitely it's like such a great experience. I feel like also because we're like a really big campus. Like honestly, it feels like Hogwarts. Like a lot of different colleges and stuff and different aesthetics.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's nice to just walk to 6th College, go get some some really good rooftop, or walk to Mirror to experience that like forest type vibe. Or in general, just play some tennis and join some recreational sports and stuff like that. So I feel like get out there once, just explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this might like sound like a lot, and I just want to like put a reminder out there that you don't have to do much. Like it could, like if you want to go out on a stroll, it could be literally 5 minutes. Like I think the fact that you went out and did something for yourself is the most important part. Just getting out and like having that fresh air and I don't know, being present in the moment and being able to absorb like the environment around you without distractions such as your lecture slides or TikTok, like just being able to take in the scenery or take in, the music you're listening to, whatever, is a very valuable thing to, I don't know, keep.
Yeah, I think definitely. And just in general, like listening to any, your favorite music, favorite artists, like I love MF Doom, Tyler the Creator, even some Lana Del Rey's sick artists. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it's pretty good to just in general check anything out. I know definitely, here at Warren, I have a lot of events going on. Definitely y'all check out your RA's newsletters. I feel like they have a lot of info about what's going on, either academics, sports, music, art, even events here in your own college. So I feel like definitely check that out. But yeah, so we're coming towards the end of our podcast. We want to thank everyone for listening to us. It has been a pleasure for us to do this for the first episode. Again, I am your RA, Black Hall Emily.
I'm your RA from Stuart Hall, Christy.
And I'm your Brennan representative, Nathan.
But yeah, so thank you so much for checking our podcast out. And if you guys want to, any feedback or want to see anything else, please send us a message to Warren Word Instagram. Yeah. If anyone else want to say last regards?
Yeah, not much. Just hope to see you in the next episode.
Yay!
Yeah. And I'll see you in the next one.